Exposed. Ginger's heartwarming choice to save his best friend leads to an incredible twist. In a small Midwestern town where the bitter wind nipped at faces and dreams were quietly dashed, there lived a scrappy little dog named Ginger. His sandy fur had more patches than solid color, and his tail wagged like a flag of hope. Ginger belonged to Timmy, a 10-year-old boy whose world felt far too heavy for his small shoulders. Timmy's parents worked grueling hours at the diner, their hands worn from serving coffee and pie to a town struggling to stay afloat. The flickering neon sign outside the diner was their beacon, shining through the darkness, yet inside Timmy couldn't help but feel the sting of isolation as peers at school teased him about his family's struggles. "Look at the charity case. They'd laugh," their cruel words echoing in his mind long after the bell rang. Timmy would bury his head, but right beside him Ginger would lift his chin, offering a warm nudge and a wagging tail that said, "You're not alone." Those moments felt like the only light in Timmy's dim world. As winter approached, the looming threat of the local factory's closure darkened the town's spirits even more. Timmy's heart raced with worry not just for his family, but for every family feeling the pinch. Then, a local veteran, Mr. Henderson, stepped in with an idea for a Christmas fundraiser to help struggling families. "We can bring hope back to this town," he declared passionately. But Timmy felt small in the shadow of that big idea. How could he make a difference? As he puzzled over it, Ginger seemed to understand his turmoil. One frosty afternoon, without hesitation, the little dog tugged at Timmy's jacket, leading him down the glittering snow-dusted streets. "Where are we going?" Timmy asked, following the adventurous pup. Ginger knew they needed to find hidden treasures within their community, buried talents and kindness waiting to be unearthed. With every step, they began discovering stories of forgotten artists, talented bakers and craftsmen whose work was hidden away like snow beneath the ice. They met Mrs. Johnson, a retired artist who hadn't touched her paintbrush in years, and burst into happy tears when Timmy showed her a canvas. They found Mr. Baker, who once made the best pies in town but hadn't sold one in months, his oven cooling in despair. Each meeting rekindled a spark of hope within Timmy, and they laughed and cried together as they began making plans for the fundraiser. But it was during one of these heartwarming encounters that Timmy stumbled upon a deeper injustice. The old community center, a place rich with memories and friendships, was set for demolition. It had been a safe haven for so many, and its loss felt monumental. Timmy's chest tightened. How could they let that happen? Moments spent here were sewn into the fabric of their town. Would anyone listen? As he grappled with these feelings, Ginger looked up with unwavering loyalty, as if to say, "We need to act. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As they prepared for the fundraiser with fierce determination, an unexpected storm threatened to sweep away their plans. The cold winds howled like the doubts in Timmy's mind. Could Ginger's brave heart lead them to uncover the spirit they needed? Or would hardship keep them shackled in silence? With every heartbeat echoing hope, one question loomed larger than the others. Could a boy and his dog truly inspire a town to rise up against the odds? As the storm raged outside, the answers waited just beyond the horizon. The storm raged on, its icy breath swirling through the town like a dark cloud of uncertainty. Timmy and Ginger huddled together in the fading light of their little home, the glow from the diner's neon sign flickering against the window like a heartbeat. Timmy's fingers grazed over the drawings he had made of the community center, his dreams splattered across the thick paper. The idea of losing its warmth felt like losing a piece of himself, a tragic loss he couldn't bear to face. "Ginger, we can't let them tear it down," he whispered, his voice trembling in the silence. The little dog tilted his head, as if he understood the weight of Timmy's words. With an encouraging nudge of his snout, Ginger leaned in closer, hoping to offer a spark of courage that could ignite the flame in Timmy's heart. As the wind howled outside, the two sprang into action. They would put together the fundraiser with a new mission: save the community center. That evening they didn't just plan for a fundraiser. They planned a movement. If they could rally the town, show them how much the center meant, maybe just maybe they could save it from destruction. Timmy put pen to paper, sketching out flyers while Ginger remained at his side, giving an encouraging woof every now and then. We'll call it the Heart of Our Town fundraiser, he decided, fueled by an urgency that echoed in the room. We can't just help those in need. We have to show everyone why this place matters. The next day they hit the streets. Armed with a stack of colorful flyers, Timmy and Ginger made their way through the snowy paths that connected their little community. They knocked on doors, shared their mission, and every time they mentioned the community center, Timmy saw the light of recognition spark in the eyes of their neighbors. Old friends, young families, and those who had once felt alone all started to gather. Mrs. Johnson excitedly offered to paint a mural for the event. Mr. Baker promised to bake enough pies to feed an army. Even Mr. Henderson joined in, his enthusiasm invigorating. "Count me in for the music," he declared, his voice booming with life. Just as a sense of hope began to bloom, an unexpected knock at the door halted them. Timmy opened it cautiously, finding the mayor standing there, his brow furrowed with concern. "Timmy, I've heard some rumors about your fundraiser," he said, and the tension that filled the air was thick, almost palpable. Ginger stood protectively at Timmy's side, a low growl rumbling from his throat. "Rumors?" Timmy asked, his heart racing. The mayor sighed deeply. "Some are saying that the fundraiser won't have any impact, that the center's demolition is already a done deal." The weight of those words crashed down on Timmy like a heavy blanket. Doubts began swirling in his mind like the storm outside. Was it worth it to fight? Could they really turn the tide against something that seemed already decided? Just then, within the depths of his fear, a flicker of defiance flared up. Taking a deep breath, Timmy responded, "We'll make them listen. We have to." As the mayor's somber expression softened slightly, Timmy sensed that perhaps this fight wasn't just about him, or even just about the community center. It was about igniting hope within everyone, something they all desperately needed. With a plan forming and his heart racing, Timmy knew they were on the brink of something much greater. What would it take to show the world what the community center truly meant to them? Would the courage of a boy and his dog be enough to save it? Or would they face a battle that would break their spirits? The storm outside may have raged still, but within Timmy, fire began to spark. What would happen next as they planned to face the forces threatening their beloved place? Timmy woke up to a world painted in white, the snow still falling lightly outside. The storm had soothed to a soft murmur, but the air was electric with possibility. He sat straight up in bed, the determination from the night before as fresh as the morning air. Ginger wagged his tail, ready for the day ahead. Over breakfast, Timmy and Ginger mapped out what they would do next. They decided that they needed to create a buzz that would ripple through the entire town. "We need to share stories," Timmy said, the ideas flowing like hot chocolate on a cold day. Stories about the community center, and what it means to everyone. With Ginger at his side, Timmy approached Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman whose face brightened at the sight of them. Her hands trembled slightly as she opened the door, her eyes misting over at the sight of Timmy's enthusiasm. "Mrs. Thompson, do you remember the summer picnic we had there last year?" Timmy asked, knowing the answer before she spoke. "Oh, of course. That was the best time. The children played games and I made that potato salad for everyone," she replied, her voice warm with nostalgia. "Exactly. Can we share your story? People need to know how special those moments are. Together we can make them feel what we feel." With each home they visited, Timmy listened, wrote down stories, and collected memories like treasures. Ginger seemed to have a special talent too. Whenever Timmy got anxious or worried, his dog would look up at him with those big, trusting eyes, bringing a rush of calm. Later that afternoon they looped back to the community center. It was dreary and cold, yet something felt alive in Timmy's heart. He turned to Ginger and whispered, "This is where it all starts." The center stood there, strong despite the weather, holding tightly to all its memories. The sun peeked through clouds as they posted the stories on a bulletin board, inviting everyone to share their feelings about the center. Timmy placed his heart into every word as he wrote his own story, recalling laughter echoing in the hall, friendship found around the pool tables, and the warmth of community that cradled his spirit. As days passed, the buzz around town grew. People began stopping by to read the posted stories, eyes filled with excitement, touching the paper and sharing their own tales. Mr. Baker said his pies always taste better when made there, a young girl exclaimed. Suddenly, the community center took form again in conversations and memories. It was revitalizing, like the warmth of spring after a long winter. However, just as hope began to swell, a darker shadow loomed over Timmy's heart. He overheard a couple of men talking as they passed by, their voices laced with cynicism. What's a few stories going to do? The decision's already made. One of them laughed harshly, leaving Timmy to feel weak at his core. But they don't know. Timmy shouted involuntarily, his voice cracking. Ginger stood by him, fur bristling as if sensing the doubt creeping into Timmy's heart. He held Ginger close, feeling the steady beat of his dog's heart against his side. I have to believe, Jingy. We can change their minds. With a sense of urgency igniting within him, Timmy stood tall. It was time to organize a town meeting. They would gather everyone in the community center and present their stories, sharing heartfelt memories and creating a collective push that could no longer be ignored. As the clouds shifted above, the call for the meeting spread through town. Yet uncertainty brushed against their resolve. Would the townspeople rally together? Or would those harsh voices drown them out? With one last look at the community center, Timmy's heart raced. They were on the edge of something monumental. Would their gathering bring the town together? Or would it be the moment that shattered his dreams? Timmy took a deep breath, ready to face whatever was coming. What awaited them as they stood on the cusp of unity? The answer was lingering just out of reach. Timmy paced nervously in his room, the echoes of the townspeople's stories swirling in his mind. Each tale was a spark, and he felt a fire kindling within him. Ginger lay on the floor, watching Timmy with a knowing gaze. What if they don't come? Timmy whispered. The worry weighed heavily on his heart. He needed to believe. The next day the sun rose clear and bright. It felt like a new beginning, and he stepped out with purpose. As they walked down the snowy path, he noticed the familiar faces of their neighbors peering out from frosty windows, some even waving. Maybe, just maybe, they would show up. Arriving at the community center, Timmy found it quiet, the hushed resignation of the snow clinging to the walls. He took a deep breath, feeling Ginger brush against his leg, a reminder of their bond. Let us set up, he said, trying to shake off the creeping doubt. Timmy stuck posters and stories on the walls, each one an invitation. The warmth of shared memories wrapped around him like a thick blanket. This is it, Ginger. This is our chance. He imagined laughter filling the space, the sound of community echoing once more. But the hour drew nearer, and the center remained empty. His heart pounded in his chest, louder than the soft fall of snow outside. What if no one comes? The worry slithered back. Ginger nudged his hand, sensing the turmoil. A quick rub behind the ears brought a spark back to Timmy's spirit. Finally, footsteps crunched in the snow outside. Timmy's heart skipped. One by one, neighbors entered. Mrs. Thompson was the first, bringing a plate of cookies. I couldn't miss this, Timmy. She beamed, her eyes shining with encouragement. Then came the Bakers, the Andersons, and soon, laughter began to fill the air as stories spilled from the hearts of those present. Timmy stood among them, feeling the weight of his mission solidify. Memories turned into tales of joy, sorrow, laughter, and love. He felt the bond forming, pulling them together like a tapestry woven with threads of experience. As each story unfolded, Timmy's resolve strengthened. He glanced out the window, expecting to see the same men who had dismissed their efforts. But unexpectedly they were there too, leaning against a snow-covered fence. Their expressions were less scornful but skeptical. He could feel their presence hanging heavy in the air. Let us show everyone what this place means to us, Timmy exclaimed, gaining courage. Can we start by sharing my story? He stepped forward, voice trembling slightly, and shared how the community center had been his refuge, a place where he felt safe and loved. As he spoke, he felt the warmth of Ginger's presence beside him, reminding him why he fought so hard. Timmy could see the townspeople nodding, their expressions shifting from uncertainty to understanding. Each moment was charged with emotion. But then the door creaked open wider, and in stepped an unexpected figure, Mr. Lewis, the town mayor. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. It was now or never. Timmy's heart raced as the mayor's authoritative gaze swept across the room. What would he say? Would he squash their hopes? Or was something changing? Whatever the outcome, Timmy knew this moment was pivotal for everyone. The murmurs quieted as Mr. Lewis cleared his throat, his expression unreadable. "This community center," he began, and time stood still, holding its breath. Timmy's heart beat wildly, waiting for the words that could change everything. Would they be words of support? Or would they douse the flames of hope? The air thickened with anticipation as silence stretched. What did the mayor have to say, and how would it shape the future of their beloved center? Mr. Lewis took a moment, scanning the room, eyes landing on the hopeful faces of the townspeople. Felt like an eternity. Then he finally spoke, his voice booming yet cautious. "This community center, it's more than just a building. I assent it? It's the heart of our town." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, fueling Timmy's fire. Timmy's heart soared at the mayor's words, but his eyes darted to the skeptical men outside. Would they still be cold-hearted? Mr. Lewis continued, "I know times have been tough, and many of you have felt isolated, even from your neighbors. But we are all in this together." With a wave of his hand, he beckoned for silence. "As your mayor, I care about this community, and I want to do everything I can to revive it. I'm here to offer my support." Gasps erupted from the audience, disbelief glinting in their eyes, and the air felt electric. Timmy's stomach flipped with excitement. Could it be true? Were they really going to get the help they needed? The mayor turned to Timmy, whose eyes widened, and he felt an urge to step forward. "You've shown great courage, young man," Mr. Lewis said, a smile breaking through his serious demeanor. "We need more young leaders like you. I'm inspired by the way you brought everyone together today. This center can be a place that thrives again." A wave of relief washed over Timmy. He looked at Ginger, who seemed to share in the joy, tail wagging furiously. But the moment was clouded as Mr. Lewis paused, his smile replaced with a solemn expression. "There's a lot to consider," the mayor continued. "However, I must mention that there are budget constraints to deal with. I can't promise immediate funding. We will need a plan, a vision for the future that everyone can agree on." A chill ran through the room. The enthusiasm began to dim slightly, like embers fading in a fire. Timmy felt the worry creep back in. "But we're just getting started," he whispered, almost to himself. "We can help with that," a voice rang out. It was Mrs. Thompson, her eyes widening with inspiration. "We can form a committee. Get everyone involved to brainstorm ideas to keep this place alive." Her utterance stirred the crowd, prompting nods and murmurs echoing with agreement. Soon others joined in, suggesting fundraising events, community games, and even craft fairs. Hope fluttered back into the air like a flurry of winter snowflakes, each idea dancing together, warming their hearts. Timmy felt a swell of pride wash over him. This could work. "Let us set a meeting right here in a week," he declared, a grin stretching from ear to ear. "Together, we can make this center something incredible." The townspeople erupted into applause, excitement igniting in their voices. But just as the laughter and chatter swelled, the door creaked open again, and the group fell silent. The men outside were standing tall now, lingering at the entrance, expressions unreadable. The tallest one stepped forward, locking eyes with Timmy. "We want to help too," he said, a hint of resolve in his voice. "We've seen how much this means to everyone. Count us in." Timmy's heart raced. Could this be the turning point they needed? The room buzzed with renewed energy. But doubts lingered. Could they trust those who once dismissed their dreams? Before Timmy could voice his apprehensions, a shadow loomed larger than before, capturing everyone's attention. A loud bang echoed through the community center as the door slammed shut and a figure rushed in clutching a bundle. A bundle wrapped tightly in a blanket. What is happening now? Timmy thought, heart pounding, as the mystery unfolded before them all. The crowd gasped again as the figure stumbled in, revealing a familiar face. It was Sally, the town librarian. Her usually calm demeanor was replaced with panic, and everyone leaned in, anxious to hear what was going on. "Timmy, I found this," she gasped, revealing the bundle in her arms. The blanket fell away just enough to show a tiny scruffy puppy with floppy ears and big shivering eyes. The room erupted in whispers, a mixture of confusion and curiosity. "What's going on?" someone asked, voicing the collective question. "Please, Timmy, we need your help. This little guy, he's lost. No one knows where he came from and he seems hurt." The puppy whimpered, its eyes darting around, sensing the unfamiliar faces gazing at it. Timmy felt a rush of protective instinct deep within him. A lost animal in distress? He knew exactly what that felt like, something he could relate to more than words could express. "Let me see him," Timmy said, reaching out gently. He cradled the puppy close, feeling its trembling body against his chest. "It's okay, buddy. We're going to take care of you." Ginger, sensing the urgency of the situation, stepped forward and nuzzled the puppy, bringing a flicker of hope into the moment. Timmy smiled, feeling a thrill of energy as he realized that Ginger was right there, supporting him. But before he could bask in the warmth of the moment, Mr. Lewis spoke again, raising a hand to quiet the crowd. "All right, folks. We need to remain calm. This puppy needs care, and we can't lose sight of what we've just built here." Timmy swallowed hard. His bones felt heavy, yet a burning urge ignited within him. "We can create a plan. Let us organize a small fundraiser. We can put together a bake sale or a car wash, anything. People love animals, and this little guy could be our mascot for the event." Sally's eyes sparkled with hope. "That's brilliant. We can get everyone involved. The center could really use the attention and some funds to care for him, and to help the center at the same time." Excited murmurs ran through the crowd, rekindling the energy that had just been there moments ago. More voices chimed in with ideas, each suggestion adding a layer of community to the plans unfolding around them. But just as the momentum soared, a shadow loomed again. The men from outside remained, the tall one stepping further into the room. His gaze locked on Timmy and the tiny dog nestled against him. "We know where the pup came from," he said, a serious tone enveloping his voice. "And it's not good. We need to talk." The room fell quiet. Timmy's heart dropped. What did he mean? Was there danger behind the innocence of the puppy's situation? "Wait, what do you mean?" Timmy asked, voice trembling. The man hesitated, a storm passing behind his eyes. "You have to understand we can help, but you need to know the truth first." Timmy's pulse raced. What truth could turn their hopes upside down? As he stared into the man's eyes, an unsettling feeling twisted in his stomach. The kindness shown earlier felt overshadowed now by an unexpected turn of events. Would they be able to help the puppy? Or would this revelation shatter everything they had worked for? The room felt heavier as the weight of uncertainty hung in the air, poised for the moment that would soon change everything. The room was a blend of anxiety and hope, the kind of energy that made the air feel charged. Timmy clutched the little puppy closer, feeling its warm body against his shirt. He couldn't bear to think about anything bad happening to it. The crowd began to murmur among themselves, each person speculating what the tall man's words could mean. "What do you know?" Timmy asked again, bracing himself. "Is the puppy in danger?" The man stepped closer, his brow furrowed. "His name is Rusty. He belongs to a family that, well, they lost him in a fight. It's a bad situation." He paused, clearly weighing his words. "We think he may have been used for illegal dogfighting." Gasps filled the room, sending shockwaves through the crowd. Timmy's heart sank. The innocent creature he was holding seemed to embody everything good, but now the words fighting and abuse hung over them like a dark cloud. He looked into the puppy's eyes, those big trusting eyes that begged for love and safety. "That's awful," Sally exclaimed, her usual composure shattered. "What can we do?" "First," the man replied, his voice steady but urgent, "you can help the dog. Call local shelters. Expose the fighting ring if you have to." He glanced at the crowd, his demeanor shifting, sensing their growing resolve. "And keep him away from any danger you might encounter trying to find his home. They won't take kindly to anyone messing with their business." Timmy's mind raced. They couldn't just sit idle. "We have to do something right now," he declared. "We can't let Rusty be out there alone, especially with people who treat him like he has nothing." Ginger, sensing the urgency, barked softly, nudging Rusty as if to say, "We've got your back." Timmy couldn't help but smile at his loyal friend. They would protect this puppy no matter what it took. "Let us gather everyone we can," Timmy urged. "We'll spread the word. If we can mobilize the community, we can save him. Maybe we can even raise awareness about dogfighting as a whole." Sally nodded, determination sparking in her eyes. "I can set up a meeting at the library tomorrow evening. We'll invite everyone, share Rusty's story, and start organizing." This isn't just about the puppy anymore, it's about stopping the cycle of abuse. Soft whispers turned into fervent discussions throughout the room, everyone finding their voice. They shifted their focus from worry to action, buoyed by Timmy's unwavering spirit. He felt a rush of warmth in his chest as he realized how important their community could be when united for a common cause. Timmy, the tall man's voice pulled him from his thoughts. If you're going to do this, be careful. There are people behind that ring who won't take kindly to you being involved. Timmy straightened, the stakes clear now. We will be careful, but we won't back down. Rusty deserves a chance for a better life. As he looked down at the tiny puppy, he felt a surge of responsibility, knowing they had a long road ahead. The crowd was starting to disperse, people linking arms and forming plans. Are you ready, Rusty? Timmy whispered, rubbing the small puppy's head. We're going to show the world what it means to be loved. But with each passing moment, a shadow of doubt crept back into his mind. What if they uncovered more than they were prepared for? What lay ahead in the coming days would not only test their bravery, but also define what true community really meant. Just then, as the last of the crowd filed out, the tall man leaned closer. Just remember, Timmy, he said softly, some truths can come at a cost. Are you ready to pay it? Timmy's breath caught, the question hanging in the air like a bitter chill. What kind of costs were they really talking about? Would he be able to stand firm against whatever awaited? The answers loomed like a storm on the horizon, close enough to see but still out of reach. The next day dawned bright and hopeful, the sun streaming through Timmy's window, casting warm golden rays across his room. He felt restless, excitement bubbling beneath his skin as he watched the clock tick closer to the library meeting time. Rusty lay curled up on a blanket in the corner, his little chest rising and falling softly. Timmy wanted to protect this small life, to fight for the happiness it deserved. As he dressed, he could almost hear the flurry of conversations buzzing in the air. Everyone would be there, friends, neighbors, maybe even strangers, all united for the same cause. He took a deep breath, his resolve solid. Each heartbeat echoed the weight of Rusty's future in his mind. At school, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Sally approached him, her eyes wide. I talked to my dad. He said he could help get supplies for flyers. She gripped her notebooks tightly, her excitement contagious. If we make them colorful, it'll draw attention. Timmy nodded enthusiastically. Yes, we need everyone to know Rusty's story. Every voice counts. Together they sketched out designs, ideas swirling like leaves in a gust of wind. As lunchtime approached, they gathered a few more friends, pulling them into their plans. The laughter and energy flowed freely in the cafeteria as Timmy shared Rusty's plight, his passion igniting a spark in others. They rallied around him, each person eager to lend a hand. We can set up a booth. Maybe even have a bake sale, one girl suggested, her eyes lighting up with the thought of cupcakes and cookies. People love treats. Exactly, Timmy exclaimed. It'll create buzz and they won't just be helping Rusty. They'll be spreading awareness too. But deep down unease lingered. He couldn't shake the tall man's warning from his mind. What if those involved in the dogfighting ring found out? That evening at the library the buzz was alive, the room filled with the chatter of newcomers. Timmy stood at the front, with Rusty cradled in his arms, the pup sleeping contently, unaware of the storm brewing around him. As Timmy spoke, he felt the crowd lean in, hanging on to his every word. Rusty is not just a pet. He's a victim, just like so many others. Together we can create change. A wave of murmurs flowed through the room. Heads nodded, smiles spread. They were more than just a community now. They were a movement. Among the crowd, however, a shadow lingered, a man with a hardened look. He didn't join the conversations, instead narrowing his eyes at Timmy and Rusty. Something about his presence sent an unsettling chill through Timmy. Look, there's something we need to consider, Timmy continued. If we speak out, we may put ourselves at risk, but we can't let fear silence us. We owe it to dogs like Rusty. The man stepped forward. You think you can just waltz in and make changes? His voice was cold, cutting through the positivity in the room. You have no idea what you're getting into, kid. Timmy's breath hitched in his throat, fear trickling into his gut. He felt the weight of the crowd's stares, curiosity blooming alongside worry. I know we can make a difference. Timmy held his ground, clutching Rusty tightly, determination igniting in his chest. "And I believe we will." A murmur shifted across the room. The man's eyes narrowed, lips pressed into a thin line as he stood there, making everyone uneasy. Days later, as the community began preparations, strange things started happening. Flyers went missing. Threats emerged in the form of notes shoved beneath doors. Timmy's heart raced each time he spotted a shadow lurking in corners, a dark whisper reminding him that the shadows of the fight were not easily left behind. But with each challenge, hope bloomed brighter. Rusty, innocent and pure, would not be a victim any longer. And just when they began to believe they could take a stand, a loud crash echoed from the library's back door, sending everyone into a frenzy. What on earth was happening? And what would it mean for Rusty and their mission? Chaos erupted in the library. The crash echoed like thunder, rattling the walls as books toppled from shelves, lending a sense of urgency to the air. Timmy's heart raced as he instinctively tightened his grip around Rusty. The little dog stirred, awakening to the commotion but still nestled safely in his arms. "What was that?" Someone shouted, their voice cutting through the panic. As everyone turned toward the back door, Timmy felt a swell of responsibility wash over him. The man he had sensed before was still in the crowd. His eyes widened with an unsettling mixture of curiosity and threat. Timmy stepped forward, trying to anchor himself, to be the leader he knew he had to be. "Stay calm," he called out, projecting his voice over the growing din. "Let us find out what's happening together." A few teens moved cautiously toward the back, and Timmy followed closely, his heartbeat syncing with the frenetic energy around him. Each step felt heavier, the air thick with anticipation. Suddenly he saw a figure slip through the door. It wasn't just a shadow, it was a dirty, scruffy dog, its fur matted and its eyes wide with fear. "Another victim," Timmy whispered, his heart aching. Just then the scruffy dog darted toward Rusty, who was still cradled in Timmy's arms. Timmy's instincts kicked in. Instead of shrinking back, he knelt, inviting the newcomer to approach. Rusty, startled at first, caught the vibe of his friend's calmness and began to wag his tail. Slowly, the stray dog edged closer, sniffing curiously at Rusty. "We need to help him," Timmy declared, looking over the crowd. "He needs a home just like Rusty." But the man with the hardened gaze stepped close again, looming in the doorway. "You think you're some kind of hero, kid?" he sneered, glancing at the two dogs. "You're out of your league." Timmy straightened himself, pulling Rusty closer. "You're wrong. I'm doing this for them. You don't know the lives you're messing with." More people began to rally behind him, their voices rising in support. "We can't ignore him. He needs our help." Seeing this, the hardened man took a step back, calculating. "This ain't over, kid," he hissed before disappearing into the shadows outside. The crowd fell silent for a moment, the weight of the moment settling over them. Timmy looked down at Rusty, who was still completely unaware of the strife surrounding him. But the stray? Those soulful eyes spoke volumes. He wasn't just a stray anymore. He was one of them. "Let us name him Ginger," Timmy proposed suddenly, a spark of warmth igniting in the gathering. "He has been through so much, but he deserves a chance just like Rusty." Cheering erupted, lifting the tension that had filled the room moments before. The joy in Timmy's heart pushed out the fear as he felt the sense of community flourish around them. But that sense of triumph didn't last long. As the group began to gather supplies and form plans to care for Ginger, a new note slid silently beneath the library's door, the edges crisp and new. Timmy's breath caught in his throat as he picked it up. "Stop what you're doing," it read. "This is your last warning." A chill swept through Timmy, and as the room buzzed with ideas for the dogs, he felt the weight of danger descend heavily on him. How much more could they risk? Are we doing the right thing? He wondered silently, glancing down at Ginger, then at Rusty. The flicker of doubt ignited a fire within. Timmy knew they were on the brink of something. Something big. What choice would they make now? Would they push forward despite the threats? Or would fear turn them away from their goal to save them all? Timmy sat at the long wooden table in the library, his stomach twisted in knots. Rusty nestled against his side, his soft warmth a balm to Timmy's racing heart. The room buzzed with energy, each person leaning into their commitment to help the dogs. But in the back of his mind, the note lingered like a dark cloud. "I can't let fear win," Timmy thought, looking around at the faces of his neighbors, friends, and supporters. They were all here, united in their mission. He opened his mouth to speak, and silence fell over the room. Everyone, he started, his voice steady. I know there's a risk in what we're doing, but these dogs need us. We can't let them get lost, or worse, we can't let them be hurt. Heads nodded in quiet agreement, encouragement lighting up the room. Let us rally together. Rusty and Ginger, they're what this is all about. Let us give them a voice. We need to spread the word about their situation and the truth behind the dogfighting. Let us create a campaign. Sally shouted, her enthusiasm infectious. Yes, Timmy felt the moment shift. Ideas began to flow. Flyers transformed into posters, social media posts drafted with inspiring messages, each word crafted with care to draw attention to the plight of these dogs. Before long, a plan emerged. They would host a community cookout, turning the event into a fundraiser for animal rescue and awareness against fighting rings. We'll have games, food, everything, Timmy said, the spark in people's eyes reflecting a communal hope. But as excitement began to build, the darkness lurked just outside. Timmy felt warmth now, but worry lingered. What about the men who threatened them? Later that night, leaving the library, he felt the chill of the evening air gusting around him. Ginger tagged along, tail wagging, while Rusty pranced excitedly by Timmy's leg. Stay close, guys, he whispered, glancing back toward the shadows that lined the street. Days turned into a whirlwind of preparation. Flyers were pasted on every lamppost, kids spread the word at school, and that cookout soon became the talk of the town. People rallied together, lending their time and great heart, creating an electric atmosphere in the community. But as the day approached, a storm brewed within Timmy. He had overheard whispers about the men lurking around town, watching their every move. I can't let them threaten all we've built, he confided to Ginger one night, the pup looking up with trusting eyes. We'll keep everyone safe. That's a promise. The day of the cookout arrived, bright and sunny, with laughter echoing from the park. Timmy's heart raced as he looked around. More people than he imagined had shown up, a tapestry of faces eager to support. Then he spotted the looming figures in the background. The men from before, arms crossed, eyes cold as they surveyed the scene. Stay strong, we can't back down now, Timmy whispered to himself. He took a deep breath before stepping up to the makeshift stage with Rusty in his arms and Ginger at his feet. Thank you all for coming today. We stand together to give Rusty and Ginger a voice, and to fight back against the cycle of abuse. Cheers erupted from the crowd, invigorating him. It was the push he needed. Timmy recounted Rusty's story, recounting his journey. We live in a community that takes care of each other, something these dogs deserve. Soft murmurs turned into shouts of agreement as people resonated with his words. Suddenly, the men approached the front, glaring as they cut through the happiness, drawing every eye. Nice little show you have here, kid, the tall one snarled. But this isn't just a happy ending. You're in over your head. Timmy's heart raced, but he stood tall. I'm not afraid of you. We're here to stand for those who can't stand for themselves. As gasps swept through the crowd, defiance filled the air. You treat animals like they don't matter, but we will protect them. This is our town, our community, and we will not be silenced. The crowd began cheering louder, emboldening each other, and Timmy felt the warmth of solidarity building around them. The men exchanged glances, tension rising around them. Timmy seized the moment. You may try to intimidate us, but you're outnumbered and outclassed. We are united. Rusty barked happily, and Ginger hopped around as if sensing the charge in the air. The crowd surged forward, moving as one, reflecting their unyielding spirit. Realizing they had no power here, the men backed away slowly, retreating into the shadows. Cheers erupted, a cascade of sounds sweeping through them. Timmy's heart soared as faces around him radiated hope and determination. The cookout turned into a celebration, but it was more than just fun. It was about community, compassion, and the promise to protect the voiceless. Timmy felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, the realization washing over him that they had done something amazing. Together they had transformed fear into love and united behind a cause. As the sun dipped under the horizon, illuminating the smiles surrounding him, Timmy knelt down, pulling Rusty and Ginger close. You did it, guys. Together we can change the world, he whispered, feeling the warmth of camaraderie surrounding him, loud, vibrant, and filled with possibility. And as they celebrated, the shadows of doubt finally melted away, replaced by the inspired light of a community reborn. Now more than ever it was clear. Hope was the greatest changemaker, and love would light the way. And so, if you're moved by this story, if you believe communities can transform together, you need to subscribe now. Don't let a moment like this slip away. Leave a like and be part of the wave creating change. Comment below, tell us your reactions, and share your thoughts on how we can all be better together. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to witness this powerful transformation. This is the moment to show your support, and together, we can turn stories into real action. Don't wait not even one more second to make a difference.